Gilgamesh. Love him, hate him, I have a crush on him. Who is this dude in history? But before that, hey there, my name is Asami Fire and welcome back to my channel. I know I've been gone for around 4 months. Long story short, since this is my first time creating my own videos on my YouTube channel, talking to the microphone became difficult. So I decided to stream. Yes, stream on Twitch. Now I am back to continue creating the content I've always wanted to do. I'll still be streaming, but not as often as I did. Anyways, let's get started. This is where I tell you everything I learned about a subject that I researched after watching anime, TV shows, movies, or playing video games. And think to myself, is that story based on something else? What did the creator take as inspiration from ancient myths or historical figures? Can I just enjoy the media? No, I need to fact check everything. Familiar with Fate Grand Order? If not, it is a gacha game where it has various characters ranging from mythology and historical figures. It's fun and all, and until you become a whale, you know, because you have to have that specific servant. I need it! Well, in Fate, there's a servant I still don't have, but I'm so fascinated by his story. Alright guys, he's out. I mean, I have 400 Saint chords, but like, I don't want to waste them all, you know? So, here we go. Do I get him? I got him! I fucking got him. I hope that wasn't too loud. I hope that wasn't too loud. I kind of want to get another copy. I'm gonna try these like one summoned tickets. I'll do 4 of them. I am still surprised that I got Gilgamesh. I've been wanting him for like the longest time. It's gold. It's gold. No way. Oh my god! I got him again in one. Oh, fuck yeah. This is like the best day of my life. Ladies and gents, today we will be talking about the Epic of Gilgamesh. Now, how can I summarize him? Well, he was a tyrant. Yup. He ain't the good guy. Gilgamesh is the son of either a priest or king of Uruk, Lugabanda, and of Ninsun or Ninsumun, the wise cow goddess, which makes him a demigod, 2/3 god and 1/3 human. Gilgamesh ruled over the city of Uruk during the 3rd dynasty of Ur. There's too many different dates on perhaps when he ruled. Let's just say a long time ago. There are 12 incomplete Akkadian language tablets that describe the Epic of Gilgamesh, and they were found by the Turkish Assyriologist Ormuzd Razam in the mid-19th century near Nineveh. The story starts with Gilgamesh being a tyrant with an egotistical personality who mistreats his people. The people would pray to the gods in a complaining fashion. The gods see that something needs to be done about Gilgamesh's behavior, so Anu, the god of the Sky Kings, and the yearly calendar created Enkidu out of clay. At first, Enkidu was a wild man living with animals. The first thing that Enkidu does was setting free the animals, held capture, therefore disturbing the farmer's job. Now either the farmer gets the harlot Shamhat, or the farmer complains to Gilgamesh about a wild man and Gilgamesh sends Shamhat. Shamhat does the business with Enkidu for a week. Damn, they got busy. During this time, Enkidu no longer is a wild man and learns the ways of mankind from Shamhat. Enkidu travels to Uruk after learning of what kind of tyrant Gilgamesh is. Enkidu encounters Gilgamesh when Gilgamesh was about to sleep with the bride, but Enkidu gets in the way by blocking the door. Gilgamesh challenges Enkidu, and the match either ends with a tie or Gilgamesh wins. The two then become best friends. Both go on various adventures that don't really matter until Gilgamesh tells Enkidu that they should head to the cedar forest to fight Humbaba for no reason at all. Well, I guess glory can be a reason since Gilgamesh is egotistical. Enkidu tries to dissuade Gilgamesh to no avail, and they go out to face Humbaba. But before that, Gilgamesh's mother adopts Enkidu as her second son and prays to Utu, god of the sun, for protection since Gilgamesh was too stubborn not to listen in fighting Humbaba. While they're heading towards the cedar forest, Gilgamesh gets a vision that makes him hesitant, but Enkidu confirms there's nothing to worry about. Enkidu and Gilgamesh head to the cedar forest where Humbaba is and fight him. When Humbaba is left defeated, begs for his life. Enkidu tells Gilgamesh nah and his life, which is where Humbaba curses Enkidu. Afterwards, they both cut a tree that Enkidu will build a door which will be used for the gods. They use that to travel down the river to get back to the city. Ishtar, the goddess of war, sexuality, fertility, and love. One day, Ishtar tries to seduce Gilgamesh, but our boy knows what's up. Bitch is crazy. On a serious note, Gilgamesh throws back asking what happened to her lovers, and she is clearly a horrible girlfriend. She gets pissed and returns to her father anew to complain. Though her father is like, my daughter is crazy. He just doesn't understand her frustration when Gilgamesh spoke nothing but the damn truth. Ishtar demands to her father to release the bull of heaven, or either she will rise the dead to eat the living. I don't know how she would do that. Isn't Ereshkigal like the goddess of the underworld? But okay. Though her father warns her that if the bull is released, 7 years of famine would occur. She reassures him, don't worry, we good. And what does daddy say? Well, alright. She releases the bull of heaven to attack Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh responds,
"You one crazy ass bitch!"
Then him and Enkidu kill the bull of heaven. Now, if killing the bull wasn't enough to anger Ishtar, either Enkidu or Gilgamesh grab a chunk of meat of the bull, throws it at her, threatening her that if she comes any closer, what they're holding will soon be hers. The gods are furious and meet together about what needs to be done about Gilgamesh and Enkidu. Enkidu falls ill for a couple of days until he dies, and pay for the killing of Humbaba and the bull of heaven. Gilgamesh was heartbroken regarding his best friend's death that he ordered statues to be built after him. Gilgamesh didn't even want to leave Enkidu's body. The people kept telling him, maggots are growing out of the body. It's time to say goodbye. This awoke something in Gilgamesh. Even if he was a demigod, he can still die and really wants to avoid death. So he goes on a search to find the man who survived the flood, who became immortal by the gods, Utanapishtim. It is said that he lives where the sun rises and no mortal man has ever been to. This journey will be a reversal of what happened to Enkidu happens to Gilgamesh. Enkidu, being a wild man, becomes civil. Gilgamesh, being a powerful king, turns mad. No longer clean or wearing his royal clothes, but now is hairy, wears pelts of animal, beaten, and dirty. His first major obstacle being stopped by 2 scorpion monsters, a man and his wife, that tell Gilgamesh where to find Utanapishtim. The path he must traverse is used by Shamash, the sun god, passing through the mountains, traveling by tunnel, alone in complete darkness, and would take 12 double hours. Honestly, this part is so confusing, I don't even know what that means. Is that a full day? I'm sure it is a full day, but hey, I don't know. Once he exits the cave, he comes across a tavern owner named Siduri, right at the edge of the sea. Originally, she wanted nothing to do with him due to his looks, but after Gilgamesh explained his situation, she informs him how impossible his next journey will be. First, he must travel the sea with unknown, dangerous storms. Next, he must travel the waters of death that only Urshanabi can pass through. He is Utanapishtim's boatman, but knowing Gilgamesh's stubbornness and unwillingness to give up, Siduri gives up trying to warn him and evidently gives him directions to Urshanabi and where he protects the Orion snakes and stone things. I'm not being lazy by calling them that. Literally, that's what they're called. Don't believe me? Look it up. Upon reaching Urshanabi, Gilgamesh unknowingly kills the Orion snakes and destroys the stone things. Gilgamesh then explains to Urshanabi, hey, by the way, I'm looking for Utanapishtim to become immortal. But Gilgamesh is informed by Urshanabi that he must pass through the sea and then waters of death. And now will be difficult because Gilgamesh blindly killed the Oron snakes and destroyed the stone things, as they are needed to pass through the sea and the waters of death. Gilgamesh is then instructed to create 60 or even up to 300 poles, depending on the version you read. Gilgamesh and Urshanabi make a 2-month trip within 3 days, and Gilgamesh finally reaches Utnapishtim. Gilgamesh asks him how he can become immortal. After explaining everything that has happened to him, the death of his dearest friend Enkidu, and the long journey to find Utnapishtim. Utnapishtim tells him that it is foolish to try and defy death, but Gilgamesh, being Gilgamesh, doesn't care and still wants to attempt to become immortal. Utnapishtim then gives Gilgamesh a trial to defy sleep by staying awake for 7 days. If he can defy sleep, he can defy death. Gilgamesh accepts the trial. However, he failed moments after starting. I mean, he's been traveling for a long time. Fallen asleep, Utnapishtim's wife tells him to wake up Gilgamesh, as he already failed, but tells her to wait and that every morning she should place a piece of bread next to him and mark the days that have passed. Gilgamesh slept not just for 1 night, but 6 days and 7 nights, until Utnapishtim woke him up. Destroyed by the fact that he couldn't stay awake, he is ready to go home until Utnapishtim tells Gilgamesh to get a flower at the bottom of the ocean and to eat it so he can become young again. Gilgamesh ties rocks to his feet in order to walk at the bottom of the ocean and finds the flower as instructed. However, before reaching home, he decides to rest and bathe at a hot spring nearby, leaving the flower unattended, and a snake comes by and eats it. Gilgamesh sees this and witnesses that the flower works as the snake sheds its skin, looking younger. Now, Gilgamesh is truly defeated and realizes that trying to defy death is pointless and goes home empty-handed. He doesn't stay depressed. He learns what it means to be a human and a great ruler for his people. He reigned as king of Uruk for 126 years. Now, is the Gilgamesh and Fate Grand Order similar to the real Gilgamesh, story-wise and personality portrayal? Kind of. Well, let's start with the similarities. Number 1, he is still as arrogant, which fits him to the T. Number 2, he is extremely strong and can handle many things. And I don't just say that because he is a great 5-star servant in the game. I mean, he is a badass, he is a dick and an asshole, but he can get shit done. The story in the game is practically the same as the Epic of Gilgamesh, except that in the end he goes back to get another flower but never uses it. The relationship between Enkidu and Gilgamesh was so close, some even believed that they were lovers. So alright shippers, you're probably not that crazy, I'll give you this one, but still try to chill. However, everything else is not likely, but I can't find reasons as to why the game says and does certain things. In the Fate series, when looking at the anime and the game, all servants have this ability called a noble phantasm. This ranges from weapons, vehicles, spells, physical attacks, concepts, and they're all powerful. Usually servants have one noble phantasm, but there are servants that have multiple. And by that I mean servants like Gilgamesh. His Gate of Babylon is a storehouse containing all the treasures of Gilgamesh. And in this storehouse, there are hundreds, maybe even thousands of noble phantasms ranging from wine, weapons, the flower mentioned in the story, and a goddamn ship. Look, I enjoy ancient aliens as much as the next guy. I'm not saying that there couldn't have been a ship, I'm just not finding the evidence of said item in the story. However, since he was a tyrant, it would make sense he would keep all the treasures of the world. Let's backtrack here for a second. Remember when I talked about noble phantasms? How Gilgamesh's noble phantasm is about holding hundreds, maybe even thousands of treasures tied to his noble phantasm? In the storehouse, he likely has the original or exact same weapons other servants use for their noble phantasms. How is this possible? The stories of these heroes servants happened after Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh's story is the oldest story in the game and in general. I mean, it is believed that the Epic of Gilgamesh was written thousands of years after it took place. His tale could have been an inspiration for the Iliad and the Odyssey. When you really analyze the epic to the Iliad and the Odyssey, there's surprisingly a lot of similarities. Hell, even Utanapishtim could have been Noah from the Bible. I didn't mention this before, but when Gilgamesh asks Utanapishtim how he became immortal, Utanapishtim tells him the story of the Great Flood. Similar as God instructed Noah to grab 2 animals of every type and built a boat, and how only him and his family would survive, is the same as what the god Enlil told Utanapishtim to do, except Utanapishtim gets immortality and Noah dies. So, Gilgamesh was the original hero, having all the original weapons that other great heroes of myth had. His class makes sense even though the tale does say more that he uses swords and axes. But the idea is that he is so arrogant and egotistical, he doesn't care what he throws at you because he has so much of it in his possession and he finds it more enjoyable in doing so. Some of the things that I could not find to any connection towards Gilgamesh is EA, or the attack Enuma Elish. EA is his most powerful and dangerous sword that he only has. Only things I can find on the sword is that EA is also the other name for Enki, the god of water, that helped in the creation of mankind. His attack, Enuma Elish, releases an absurd amount of power that it can destroy basically anything in its way. But Enuma Elish is just the name of the creation myth of Mesopotamia. This myth is also where EA created the first man and helped the younger gods kill their parents, Tiamat and Apsu. But yeah, here is the story about the Epic of Gilgamesh. Honestly, I didn't thought I would get him when I rolled for him, not once but twice. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the story. Who are your favorite servants in Fate Grand Order? For me, it's difficult to choose, but to narrow it down, Jalter, Merlin, Cleopatra, Parvati, and Kama. So far, I'll admit here, I find Gilgamesh extremely attractive in the game. Hey, I know you're all falling for a stealth roll, so no judges.
I spent $400 on a dick.
I mean, Fate has some sexy servants, so yeah. Like I mentioned before, I stream on Twitch on Tuesdays, 12 p.m. MST, and Thursdays, 5 p.m. MST. Now anyways, see you on my next video. Hopefully something shorter, but this is so damn interesting. Let me be your teacher. Remember, my name is Asmi Fire. I am out like a candle. Bye!